Alright guys, so today we are going to learn about plant needs. Okay, so what does the plant need in order to grow properly and survive and all that good stuff, okay? So you are to take notes on this and I'll highlight what you need and kind of walk you through that. And so the first one up we have is the first basic plant need we have is photosynthesis. Okay, what is photosynthesis? It's the process by which plants make their food, okay, or make their energy. We kind of associate photosynthesis as the plant food, okay, but really, I mean, I guess it would be considered their plant food, but photosynthesis gives them energy, okay. So when we eat and we drink water and all of that, that turns our bodies in what we eat and drink, it turns it into energy for our body and for us. So that's kind of the same process with photosynthesis. So photosynthesis, it occurs in the leaves, okay, it occurs in the leaves of the plant. It will not occur at night, okay. So it occurs when light, carbon dioxide, and water are converted into energy. Okay, so just know that you need light, carbon dioxide, and water in order to have photosynthesis. So in order for a plant to photosynthesize, they have to have light, carbon dioxide, and water. Okay, so our second one is going to be light. Okay, so we all know that light is required for photosynthesis. Okay, light powers photosynthetic process, and the light can either be natural or artificial. When it says natural or artificial, so for example, if we have our plants outside or in our personal greenhouse does not have artificial light, but artificial light is like a lamp or a specific kind of lamp. You know, that kind of happened when I was in college. I had to use a little bit of artificial light in my dorm room because I was in the corner room that didn't have any light, so I had plants, and so I had to use my lamp. I had to get a lamp, or I used my lamp to give my plants light so they could grow. So, go back. So natural light, okay, is light from the sun. Okay, understand that natural light is from the sun. So the sun is the most important energy source in the world, as of all of our food products ultimately rely on the sun. So if we didn't have the sun, we wouldn't have any light. Okay, most of our food relies on light. So an example of this is steaks come from cows who eat plant matter, which is grown by using the earth's sun. So cows eat grass. So that grass, in order for that grass to grow, it has to photosynthesize. And in order to do that, it has to have the sunlight. So then we have artificial light. Okay, go back. Okay, so artificial light is light that is light from bulbs and other man-made sources. So artificial light can be used to manipulate flowers to flower, plants to flower, or to fruit, or to germinate at a specific time. As you can see right here, the pinkish purplish lamp, the purpose of that is to get them to flower early. You're tricking them into flowering early. Okay, so the next basic plant need is air. Okay, so plants need air in order to photosynthesize. During photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So during photosynthesis, I don't know why I can't highlight today. Photosynthesis, the plants are going to absorb carbon dioxide and release the oxygen. The plants are necessary to our survival and our health, okay, because they convert. So plants convert harmful carbon dioxide into energy that we breathe. Okay, but I want you to understand here that plants are not made to give us oxygen. When they photosynthesize, the cool thing about it is photosynthesis produces oxygen and plants don't need oxygen. So they don't need the amount of oxygen that they produce when they photosynthesize, so they release it back into the air. So I think that's really cool. So then we have water. So water of course, just like us, plants require water to live. Water is essential for photosynthesis, and water is going to transport minerals and nutrients from the roots to the rest of the plant. Okay, the purpose of water is to transport. Okay, but they have to have water to live. If they didn't have water, they wouldn't be able to transport all of their minerals up. Alright, so growing media. It doesn't let me highlight it. Plants require a media to anchor the plant and provide minerals. Okay, so when it says growing media, it's talking about soil. Okay, so if I went out here and say I had a tomato plant. Okay, so let's say I just wanted to plant my tomato plant outside my door. Okay, so I'm going to dig up some of the soil and I'm going to plant my tomato plant into that growing media. Okay, so the purpose of that is to anchor the plant and provide minerals. So that's why you hear people talk about doing a soil test so they know what minerals are in there for that plant to grow. Okay, so soil. Okay, so plants are commonly grown. Okay, so they're most commonly grown in soil. It didn't start highlighting. Okay, plants are anchor themselves in the soil. Okay, so if you want to put plants anchor in the soil, soil provides water and nutrients to the plant. Alright, so then we talked about some soilless media. Okay, so some examples in greenhouses, plants are commonly grown in soilless media. That's talking about moss, perlite, vermiculite, sand, and bark. So in greenhouses, plants are commonly grown in soilless media. Okay, I don't know why this thing isn't working. Okay, so then some examples, and you can just put, I can't spell, or like I can't do this very good, just put examples, and then put moss, perlite, vermiculite, and sand and bark. Okay, so soilless media may contain these things. So what that means is these are really high in some minerals and nutrients that the plants need. So what's going to happen is maybe your plants in your greenhouse are deficient in something, so you might add moss or vermiculite to increase those minerals. And then soilless media is effective because it's sterile. Okay, what that means is there are many plant diseases that can happen, or many insects that can eat your plants or infect your plants. So you always want to make sure that when you are growing your plants that they are in a sterile media, so that way you're not sticking your, like for example, if I went out here and put my soil or put my tomato plant in the soil that's right outside my door, tomato plants require a lot of calcium. And if they don't, they have what they call blossom end rot on the tomatoes. So if I don't know if my soil has a high calcium, then I just plant it in there, then I may have, blossom end rot. Well, that's a disease. So I've already made my plant exposed to that. So hydroponics is the practice of growing plants in the absence of using soil and just water. So you guys have not been, some of you had been to my greenhouse and some of you haven't, and that thing that was over the fish, that's our hydroponic system. So you can just stick your plant down in there and then it will grow. And that is it for your hydroponics or your plant needs lecture. So if you have any questions, then send me an email.